Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at batch processing a series of shapes in Photoshop. So the scenario is that I have a viewer who is creating custom shapes and they want to be able to recolor these shapes to a number of different colors automatically, and they want to be able to save the files out ultimately in as quick a process as we possibly can. Now there are some potential things to go wrong here, so I'm going to step you through it and explain where the likelihood of things going wrong is so that you can avoid it. So I'm going to click on new file and I'm going to just use a file 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. I'm going to click create. So I'm going to the custom shapes tool, which is here, and I'm going to choose a shape to use. So I have a series of shapes. This entire action is not based on the shape that you choose, so you can choose absolutely anything. So let's just go and draw my heart, and I would make this the size that I want. Notice up here that of the options that were available, I'm using shape. That's pretty important. So once we've done this, I'm just going to click away from this. I do need my properties panel in a minute, so I'm going to bring that over here, because without it things are going to go a bit haywire. And I do want my layers panel as well, so I'm going to bring that over here too. And then I'm going to need my actions panel. But let's start in the layers panel. So here I have a layer that is the name of the shape that I used. And what I need to do is to call it something more generic. So I'm just going to double click on it and I'm going to call it shape 01. Because this person wanted to do it 50 times. We're not going to do it 50 times because the process is the same for like 5 as it is for 50. But use a naming convention that's going to work for you. I'm going to do .png because I want to export these ultimately as transparent PNG files. So I'm clicking away from everything. Nothing is selected. That's really important right now. Now I'm going to my actions palette, and here is a set called Helen's. Now if you need to create a set, you can click here on this icon and create a set. So you could just make your own set, whatever you like. I'm actually just going to put my action in a current set. So I've already made this set, it has other things in it. I'm going to click here on the plus sign to actually start my action. Now at this point you want to be set up because anything that you record is going to be in the action. So you can't sort of like go, wait a minute, I haven't done what I want to do. So make sure that you've not got anything selected and you're ready to go. It doesn't matter what you call your action. I'm calling mine duplicate and recolor, and I'm clicking record. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to click on the layer that has the shape on it. We're going to right click and choose duplicate layer. Then over here we're going to name it shape 02 because this is ultimately we're going to be its file name, and I'm going to click OK. And then I'm coming up here to the properties panel, which is why we opened the properties panel. If yours is not open, just go and open it. So you can just go to window and then properties to open it, and you'll notice over here in the actions panel that was not recorded because it's not a recordable thing. So what we're going to do is go to the fill, we're going to click on this, and this is where you can make a really big mistake. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these light colors. So I'm just opening up the light colors. I'm going to choose the first of the colors I'm going to use, which is going to be this green here. Now that has actually not properly filled this shape with the color. What you've got to do is once you've clicked here is you're going to click back on this properties panel, and that's going to have set the color, because I have found that if you don't do that you end up with shapes all exactly the same color, which is kind of defeating the purpose. Right click, duplicate layer. This is going to be shape 03. Click OK. Go in here, click the fill. Go and select the next color, go and reselect the properties panel. Now right click and duplicate the layer. Next color. Back in the appearance area of that panel, right click, duplicate layer. Let's get our fill. Let's get a new color to use. Let's click away. And this is going to be the last one we do. So I'm done now. I'm just finished recoloring the last of my layers. So I'm coming over here to the bottom of the actions palette. I'm just going to click this square button, and that's stopping the recording. Now if this were me and I was doing 50 of these different color layers, I'd probably be breaking it up into pieces. So I'll probably do 15 and then another action for the next 15 and another action for the next 15. Because seriously, pressing an action button 3 times is a whole lot less painful than getting all the way to the end of a 50 recoloring exercise and finding that I've made a mistake. You do you, but I think that I would probably break it up into little bits. So let's go and test our action. So I'm going to choose File, New, and I'm going to create a new document. It doesn't have to be the same size. I'm going to the Custom Shape tool. I'm going to choose a shape to use. Again, this can be any shape at all. I'm going to use this leaf shape. And then I'm going to fill it with a color. So I'm just going to the fill colors. Let's choose bright red. I'm going to click away from the shape and I need to name this layer, because if I don't, this is what's going to happen when I start to run the action. The command select is not currently available. That's not actually helping us very much, but the problem is that there is no layer called shape 01 PNG. So I need to make a layer called that. So there is my shape 01 PNG layer. So I'm going back to the start of the action and I'm going to run it again. Now, I have had experience where I have tried to do this and I've ended up with exactly the same color layers. So if that happens to you, if for example all of these were the same color or they're not working perfectly, what you're going to do is just drag them onto the trash can. You're going to come back into this shape. You might choose a different starting color, for example, and then click away from it and try the action again, because I've had it fail and then work perfectly the next time and the next time and the next time. So just be warned that Photoshop might have some tricks up its sleeve. They're extremely unpleasant tricks, and especially if you've done a lot of layers and suddenly you find that it's not working, the chances are that it's just Photoshop being extremely unhelpful. So our action is working. We have a series of layers and we're ready to start saving. So what we're going to do is choose File and then Save, because we need to save this file somewhere where Photoshop in a minute can put all these layers. So I'm just going to click File, Save. And I have a folder here called Delete Me, and I've got shape stuff in here. So this is the location I'm going to use, but I do want to create a new folder. So I'm going to right click here and choose New Folder. And this is going to be Video Images. And I'm just going to double click on this and I'm just call this Video 1. So my file is Video 1 PSD and it's located in a new location on my computer. So now what I'm going to do is turn off my background layer. So these are the individual objects that I want to save as individual files. So we'll choose File and then we're going to choose Generate and Image Assets. And it looks like absolutely nothing has happened. But if I go to my Shapes Stuff folder, so I have it here on another screen, let's go to Video Images, and in here are the Video 1 assets. And here are our files, Shape 1 PNG, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're all saved out as individual files, and when I open them, you can see that they've got transparent backgrounds. So the PNG format has saved them as transparent backgrounds. I didn't have to do anything more than generate assets, provided you've got the file actually saved. So here's Video 1 PSD, and this gives us the Video 1 assets. All the layers from this file are now in here as separate images. So I think that this is a sort of pretty good way of achieving the result of getting a single shape, recoloring every one of those layers, and then giving them names as we do that so that we can save them to individual files later on. That's pretty automated in my book. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, or some variation on what you're wanting to do, hopefully this has given you a good start on a workflow that is going to help you do it as automatically as possible. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results, then you'll love my Skillshare content. I'm a Skillshare top teacher. I have hundreds of short courses on Skillshare that you can access, along with thousands of other great courses, all for the price of a single subscription. If you're interested, there's a Skillshare coupon for you in the description below to use to sign up. Using this coupon benefits me as a creator, and it helps me continue to make free content available here for you also on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. On the screen now, you'll see a video that I've hand-picked for you. If you enjoyed the video you've just watched, I know that you're going to really enjoy the one I've picked for you to watch next.